If you are a silver bull, there's not much reason to be happy with when silver prices fall like it did today, other than a buying opportunity. But today is not just any ordinary day. I'll explain why we should be very happy with silver's performance as we explore. Now, tomorrow is another day, but today is a reason to celebrate because for the second day in a row, silver is above $34 an ounce. And that's a good thing. Silver rose over 5% yesterday, and today we were expecting a correction, and that's normal. And we did see it, but it's not for the reasons you think. I don't think it's a normal profit taking that's going on here. I'm going to get into it from a piece here that talks about gold, but silver is reacting in tandem with it. But not in the way you think, because that's another reason to celebrate. Let me break it down for you. Here's the market right now. Moments before they close, gold is down 0.84%. It got hit harder than silver today. It's down $28.50 to $3,354.10. Silver, on the other hand, is only down a half a percentage point, 0.56 to be precise. It's down 19 cents to $34.65. In fact, it did get up as high as $34.84 in the early trading session. But there it is. And it did dip below $34 briefly, but we've seen it come back around here now. And it is a sight to see, and it's very good to see silver outperform gold or not perform under as much as usually is the case in these markets. Still, buying opportunities are out there, and my friends at Summit Metals, check them out. They have reasonable prices and great service, so elevate your wealth with Summit Metals, summitmetals.com. Now, I want to also show you another piece of silver that I got later in the video. You're not going to want to miss that because what I have here shown is some silver rounds. What I'm going to be showing you is not a round. That's right. Although it is the same shape, you may guess what it is, but I want to give you a hint. It's not that big of a deal, folks. It's not that big of a deal at all about what I got at the local coin shop today, but it is exciting. All right, now, we did see the price drop after the JOLTS report came out. That's right. They said gold has trimmed some of its gains on Monday as it edges down over 1% earlier in the day, following jobs data from the United States, which reveals that the labor market remains tight. That's good for jobs, and it means employment is high. At the same time, the overall strength of the greenback weighed on the non-yielding metal, and we're seeing it trade now down $3,354, as I mentioned. Investors' mood turned optimistic following the release of the latest U.S. jobs openings and labor turnover survey, otherwise known as JOLTS. There was a cola that was released sometime back when this van was driving around that was high in caffeine and gave you a jolt cola. Let me know if you know what that is down in the comment section below if you've ever drank Jolt Cola. Jolt Cola, I have. So we have, what was around back in the day and what silver was trading for back in the day compared to the modern age and where silver is now. Silver's not doing too bad, I would say. And so the data was positive ahead of a busy week with jobs data released, awaited on Wednesday. The automatic data processing and national employment change for May is expected to improve following by Friday's non-farm payroll numbers. And bullion prices retreated on rumors of a possible call between U.S. President Donald Trump and his counterpart Chinese President Xi Jinping. Last week, Trump announced that China had violated a trade agreement reached in Switzerland. He then doubled down on worldwide steel and aluminum tariffs, which were set to increase from 25 to 50% and take effect on June 4th. So with that being said, that's the backdrop, folks, which means that prices of gold and silver are really being propped up by continued tension between the United States and China on trade. And also, we have the geopolitical situation as well. We'll get into that in a moment. But that is propping up gold and silver. But what makes silver so amazing right now is it's even more resilient than gold today. And so this bodes well for what could be coming through the week. I think we're going to see above $34 through the end of the week. Now, I could be wrong on that, but I think the tensions are going to remain high, and we've not seen a response yet from Russia. But the European Commission is pressuring the United States to lower tariffs. Conversely, the Trump administration urged trading partners to submit revised offers by Wednesday to speed up the talks with trade. Now, Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic said that the best monetary policy approach now entails patience, and he sees just one rate cut this year. That's it. And that's going to actually bode better for precious metals and not so much for the dollar as we head into the rest of the year, because, it's when you cut rates, that typically is bullish for gold and silver. The dollar index indeed is up today. It's back up above 99 now. It's up 0.69. It's almost inversed yesterday's move down. It's moved back up in the opposite direction at the exact same pace and rate. But nonetheless, very interesting. So what we're seeing here now is what the daily market movers, and as the gold price has disappointed traders on the dollar's recovery, and the U.S. Treasury bond yields are also rising, with the 10-year Treasury note yielding up 2 basis points at 4.462. U.S. real yields have followed suit and are also climbing up by 2 basis points to 2.132. And these bond yields, I think if it goes up to 5%, that's kind of danger zone. That means they're really amping it up to try to get people to buy them. U.S. JOLTS job opening in April rose by 7.39 million from a revised 7.2 million in March. Economists estimated a decrease of 7.1 million vacancies. Also, high tensions between the U.S. and China could spur another leg up in gold prices. Trump's decision to raise tariffs on base metals could be inflation-prone, increasing precious metals' appeal. On the other hand, an agreement between Washington and Beijing will likely result in easing tensions and lower bullion prices. So a lot of it will depend on trade here. Now, I disagree with their inflation argument. It just means rising prices. That's different than inflation, as I've discussed before. Money markets suggest that traders are pricing in a 48.5 basis points easing towards the end of the year, according to prime market terminal data. And so we'll see, but fascinating to see this kind of move. But there's a lot buoying up gold and silver right now, and silver usually is much more volatile, but today it is holding steadfast. That's reason to celebrate. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome for silver. Now, tomorrow, again, is a new day. Now, my feeling is we're going to see silver remain above $34 through the end of the week, barring any unusually good news, which I guess most of the economic numbers that are going to be trickling in this week are supporting what we already know. So likely we're feeling the effect of it now, and that it will be pretty tepid. So we may see silver stick around this area. It may fall a little bit more, but 19 cents in one day is not that bad. And if we see 19 cents through the rest of the week, it's still above or just barely above 34. It may dip below that, but I kind of doubt we're going to see that. So that's where the numbers are for silver. But remember, folks, days like today and anything above $33 is where I still stand that we should be happy about with silver. That's right. I'm not saying 34 right now, because next week is a whole different week. And all of it is going to depend on what Russia's response is to Ukraine. Right now, there's the propaganda machines on both sides are in full effect, and it may not be as bad as some of them are saying on the Russian side. And so if it is not as bad, then I think we could see a tepid movement in precious metals. Now, I will say this too, that platinum and palladium have both gone up and with healthy ticks today. And I think that is in part because of what's going on in Russia. But I still think that there's a lot more time to digest what's happening in that situation. And every day that goes where there's no activity, it means that tensions will remain high and speculation will remain high as to what Russia is going to do. So that's something we have to take into account. And I think that is going to prop up and keep gold and silver prices where they're at. But let's say that somehow there's some miracle that comes to place and there's a ceasefire and there's negotiated trade talks that are back in full force again. We could see silver fall below 34 very easily, but if we can stay above 33, that's still a reason to celebrate for silver because we're solidifying that $33 mark. But still, we're close to $35 right now. We're closer to 35 than 34 right now. And so we're holding our breath. We're seeing what's happening here with silver. Every day is important as we continue to assess the situation. Now, let me tell you what I got from the local coin shop today. I got this here. It is a near perfect, in my view. I examined this thing closely. I even ordered a capsule for I purchased a capsule from it because it is just such a well done Britannia. No problems with it at all. No milk spots. I just wanted to preserve it. It's a nice bullion coin. And I got it for cheap. I got it for $36. That's less than $1.50 above spot right now. So pretty happy about that, to add another ounce to the stack here. And so there it is. That's what I got. And let me know what your thoughts are about the market report for today. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.